Rawsome Vegan Gal here, and today I have some products from a company called Maskal Teff. And I want to thank Tim for sending me over the products. And teff is an ancient grain of Ethiopia, and I'm going to tell you more about the grain and also show you some things you can make with them. So here, I'll just show you what we have today. We have two different varieties of the grain. We have the brown teff, and so you see it's very small. If you can see in the package how tiny those little grains are. They're like the tiniest thing, you can barely see them. Then I have the ivory teff, and then it also comes in a flour form, and I have the brown teff, and these are in 16-ounce packages. And then I also have the ivory teff. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about teff right here. So first of all, I have a book from Brigitte. It's an excellent book, and I'll have a link below this video. I'll also have a link below this video to this company and how do you obtain the products and more information. And also some of the ingredients I'm going to be using, I'll also link below the video with the name, and if there's a place to contact you, you can always do a search online. So this book, Rawsome, is really nice. It has a raw food encyclopedia. So it talks a little bit about teff, just very briefly. It says that teff is from the grass family called Poaceae. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's native to the region of the Nile. It was a wild grass that eventually became cultivated. It is rich in iron, calcium, copper, and zinc. It also contains intrinsic naturally occurring yeast, which I didn't know that, which aids in the digestion of this grain. And teff has a low potential of being allergenic. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit more from what Tim sent me about this company. So he says, the little flyer says, "Move over quinoa, there's a new grain in town. Teff is rich in fiber, it's gluten-free, and it's a good source of protein." I'm going to give you some of the specifics in a minute. It's, let's see, it's very small in size, but it's high in a lot of nutrients. It's grown in the U.S., and it's high in fiber. It contains 9 essential amino acids. It's naturally gluten-free. It's a whole grain. It's non-GMO. It's also kosher certified. Now, the brown one has a nutty flavor. The ivory has a mild, sweet flavor. Then the flour, they say you can use for making breads, cookies, cakes, or cereals. The grain is used for cereals, soups, stews, energy, or protein bars. The sky's the limit with what you want to do with it. And to tell you a little bit more about this company, they pioneered the growing of it in North America, and they are located in Indiana. So long before it became popular, the founders of this company started educating and working with growers in the western United States to produce teff. And they've selected a variety that grows optimally in our latitude and climate. We produce our seeds supplied to ensure teff is disease-free, and they have more than 30 years of experience, so that's really amazing. And most of the farmers have grown for us for many years, and it's a socially responsible production, which means that we produce it in the United States. We help forestall economic disruption in Ethiopia, where there have been price increases and shortages in teff. Deforestation and farmer dispossession have also led to the development of farm-operated commercial farms, so they help with that. And they're the largest producer of teff. They have traceability from field to shelf. And it's gluten-free, GFSI certification in process. I don't know exactly what that means, but I guess it has to do with the gluten. So I want to tell you a little bit more about teff that on this package, to tell you more about the nutrient profile, which is really pretty amazing. So this is the grain itself, and I believe both grains have a similar nutrient profile, pretty similar. The brown teff has 30% iron for a quarter cup, and I don't think that's cooked. I think that's uncooked. That's pretty amazing. 6% calcium, that's the brown one. It has 20% dietary fiber, 6 grams of protein. That's a lot for just a quarter cup. 180 calories, 15 calories from fat, so it's not that really is negligible. The white one has 25% iron, same amount of calcium, same amount of fiber. A protein is only 5 grams. So imagine for a quarter cup, if you're deficient in iron, this would be a great way to get your iron and your protein. So how do you make this? So what I did was I cooked it in advance already because to save time, because it would take a while. So you're going to boil it. You're going to boil your water first. Then you add the teff. Now I did 1 cup, which is actually a lot when it cooks, because you add 3 to 1. So if you're just making this for yourself, if you're making for a big family, then maybe you want to do more. But if you're making it for yourself, I would suggest just do even a half a cup. And what I did was I mixed the two. I thought it would be nice to mix the brown and the white teff grain together. So so what it is when I did the 1 cup to 3 cups water, gosh, it made at least 4 or 5 cups of grain, if something like that. Now, as it's cooking, it's very gelatinous. It gets kind of thick and sticks together. It's a sticky kind of thing, more like if you've ever made amaranth, is a stickier. And it's actually considered a pseudo grain, from what I understand. It's not a true grain. It's from a grass family, actually. So it takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Mine took 15 minutes, depending on your type of stove you use. Watch it, and if you have a flame tamer, I might suggest you put that underneath as well. Because I would mix it, it says here only mix it towards the end, but I mixed it as it was cooking and watched it. And in the end, before it started sticking to the bottom, it was still so hot that I turned it off and let it kind of finish cooking out. It had some more water in it, so it was a little bit wetter. They also say that you could add other grains to it if you want to mix grains, things like rice, millet, buckwheat, cornmeal, couscous, whatever. The sky's the limit too with what you want to add to this. And you'd still do a ratio of grain to boiling water is still 1 cup to 3 cups. But if you're using very little teff, like let's say you're doing mostly millet and very little teff, it's not probably the same, or rice, but if you're doing more quantity. So there's many ways you can make this. They suggest on their package to make a quiche. One of them says about a polenta. But what I decided to do today was make what I call a savory teff porridge. And it doesn't have to be eaten for breakfast. It could be eaten anytime. It even be eaten for dinner because it's high in protein and amino acids and calcium. So it's a porridge, and I add some nice medley of vegetables to it that are all raw. So I already actually chopped up all the vegetables and got them ready. So I'll tell you what I'm using. I chopped up some celery. I chopped everything pretty small, so it kind of blends in with the thing. It's not like a stew where you have large. So I chopped up celery, radish, tomato, a baby, kind of a mini bell pepper, snow peas, green olives. Also, I added a little chopped walnuts. The other thing that I added was some lemon zest. So I have the lemon here that I already cut, and as you can see, the zest taken off. But I always want to do, when you're using zest, make sure you do it when the lemon's still whole. It's easier to work with than afterwards. And if you like orange zest instead, I thought it would give it a nice flavor. And then I have some different seasonings and spices I'm going to add, and that I didn't add yet, or lemon juice. So I'll just show you. So here's like the bowl with all the different ingredients. And I also added fresh rosemary, which I have here to show you from the garden. So here's some rosemary if you've never seen rosemary. And then also some fresh thyme that was from a neighbor's garden. And thyme is really nice, and they're also high in antioxidants, so I like using things like that. So I have all my little chopped up ingredients in here, and I use green olives. If you like black olives, you can put in grated carrot, you can put in chopped cucumber. There's no limit to what you can use. So it's all in a matter of what you like. So I'm just going to take some out of the pot, and I'll show you here what it looks like once it's cooked. I did already take some out, so that's what it looks like, cooked, if you could see that. So I'm just going to take, and the way you can do it is if you want to season the whole teff pot with the spices and seasonings first. But I prefer to take off what I want for this particular dish, because maybe you want to do something else with it. You could even make it into a pudding. It could be a sweet pudding. You could add different kinds of sweet things. But I'm going to do something sweet with the flowers. So I'm just going to take maybe about a cup here, mix it into the vegetables that I already put in here. Probably about a cup, maybe, yeah, a little bit, maybe a little more. And then what I'm doing is I'm just going to mix up the vegetables into it. And then I'll tell you what seasonings I'm going to add to it. So it's actually going to look really pretty because the colors of all the vegetables with the teff kind of makes a nice addition to it. Now, I'll show you when it's done here. So then what I'm going to add, I have some different seasonings here. I have some turmeric, I should say, powder, and that's also a very good for you, very high antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. Now I learned that turmeric needs to be added with some black pepper for your body to absorb the benefits of the turmeric, and I didn't know that. So I have some fresh black pepper here that I'm just going to grind some into it. So I use that whenever I make stuff with turmeric. I actually add some black pepper. You don't have to add a lot if you're not a big black pepper fan, just a little bit. Then I also have here some Dulse powder, and this is from Jensen. And they don't actually make it, they actually just distribute it. So I'm going to add a little of that to the porridge here. And then I also have some ginger powder. Now, if you don't like ginger a lot, I like a little bit. Again, a very good anti-inflammatory, high antioxidant. So I'm going to add a little bit of ginger powder. And that I just got in the bulk bin at my local health food store. Then I made up my own little ground seed, kind of, I don't know what I want to call it, a seed blend. And I put in things like coriander, fennel seed, what else went in here? Milk thistle seed, caraway seed, dill seed, and I made my own blend. So I bought them as whole seeds and then blended them myself. So it has a little bit of a strong flavor, but I like it. So I'm going to add a little of that. Then I also have here some coconut aminos. This is from a company called Coconut Secret. And I did review their product also on my YouTube channel. So this is just to add a little flavor instead of using soy sauce or, aminos. So it actually smells really nice. So again, it's up to you how much you want to add as far as how you would like it to taste. Then I'm going to add some lemon juice because I didn't add a lemon yet. And then I'm going to mix it all up and then I'm going to try it. Now I'm a big fan of lemon, so I'll add more. And then I'm going to mix this up a little bit. So now it's a little more wet from the lemon and the coconut aminos. But I'll show you how it looks. It looks really nice. And, you could try it if the flavor is not exactly to your taste. You can always add something more or less of what you like for yourself. So here's what it actually looks like. The Teff porridge with your vegetable medley. Now I'm going to try a little. See how it tastes. That's very nice. To me, I would add more lemon. I love lemon. It has a very nice taste, but personally, I'm a big lemon fan, so that would be for me. So yeah, you can have this any time of day. You're hungry if you eat breakfast. I don't usually eat breakfast, but this would be a nice breakfast porridge. You could have it lunch, dinner, really any time you want. I'm going to show it to you again how pretty it looks because it looks really nice with all the vegetables in there. See how pretty that is? So that's our porridge. And then the next thing I'm going to make with the flowers is, let me just take this out of the way here so I have more room to work. So with the flowers I decided I'm going to make some treats. Now the treats can be, let me see, the treats can actually be a bunch of different things you can make them into. It could be cookies, bars, brownies, truffles, muffins, really anything. But I'm doing everything raw. So what I'm going to do now, excuse me while I move my other things over, is get the Teff and then I'll show you the other ingredients. So I have the Teff flowers here. We have the white, the ivory, and the brown, and I'm going to use both. And let me see, I'm just going to move the pot out of the way here so I can get to the other ingredients that I need. So I'm going to open up these flowers. I didn't open them up yet. And they have a nice, by the way, Ziploc package. So it's easy to close. And this is their insignia on the top. I didn't show you that. I guess it's got an animal. I don't know if that's a ancient Ethiopian type thing. I really don't know. That's their own design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these probably into like a brownie type or cookie kind of thing. And I just want to tell you that when I actually tried the Teff before I put everything in it. It has a really nutty taste, and when you cook it, it smells nutty. It really is nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some, have a little measuring cup here. But I'm really not going to, I don't know that I'll measure it out. I'm just using it to scoop it out. So I'm going to take out some of the brown, I can get some out of here. Take some brown flour. And then take some of the white flour and kind of mix them together. I don't know if I took about 2 ounces. So I'm just going to make this very simple. There's going to be a lot of different ingredients in here. So I'll list them underneath. some interesting stuff that I like to use. So I'm also going to add some coconut flour, and this is from a company called Let's Do Organic, actually distributed by Edward & Sons, which I also reviewed on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to take a little bit of coconut flour to add to this. Maybe a couple of spoonsful. I can get another spoon out. Okay, and then I'm going to add some cacao powder. If you've never used cacao powder, this is from a company called True Vibe, and I've also reviewed them on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to add a few spoons of that. So it'll have a chocolatey look. Then I'm going to add some maca powder, also from True Vibe. This is their maca powder. And again, I'll have links below to all these different products that you can get if you like. And you could use anything to make these. It's up to you what you like. So I'm going to add a couple more spoons of this. And this will make it a little sweet. If you've never had maca before, maca is really good for you. And it's an adaptogen. It's got amino acids. And it also has a sweet flavor. Then I'm going to add some, let's see what else I have. Some vanilla bean powder, which is really nice. Gives it a nice flavor. I love vanilla bean. I like how it tastes. So you can obtain that too. There's a company called Living Tree Community. I believe they carry it, or you can look online and search for that. Then I have an interesting other powder that I've used in the past from a company called Navitas Naturals, which I reviewed as well on my YouTube channel. It's pomegranate powder, and it's actually really sweet. It's amazing. Pomegranates are kind of tangy, but the powder, when they do it, when they make it, it comes out really, really sweet. So I'm going to add, and it has this nice pink color. You can see that on the spoon. Kind of a light pink. So I'm going to add some of that. I can get it out of here. Get it out of the package. Oops, doesn't want to come out. Okay, I think that's enough. Just a little bit. Then, let's see what else we have to add. Then I have some hemp seeds, some cacao nibs, and some buckwheat cereal that I'm going to add, kind of mix in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to add some date paste. And I have that from a company called Shields Date Garden. And this is another company that I reviewed. So I'm going to add that to kind of give it a bit of a gooey flavor. And to add the sweetness to it. So let's see. So what I'm going to do with this first is add a little bit of water to make it more like pasty. But don't add too much. Do it slowly because you want it to stay kind of thick. Then I'm going to mix that. Get my other spoon here. The other thing I was going to add is some, I have a kumquat here. It's going to add a little zest, just for something different. A little of the orange zest, if it'll zest. Let's see if it's coming off. So this is a little grater that I have. Doesn't seem to be zesting that much, so I think we might just skip that. It's a little bit's coming off, not much. There's not much skin to the kumquat. So I thought it would be nice to give it a different kind of a flavor. It is coming out, but very, very little. So it's more coming out on my hand than on the grater. So I think we're just going to have to try to put it in. I don't know if it's going to work very well. I'm trying. It's a new experiment. So I got a little bit out, so I'm just going to call it quits on that. And I'm going to mix this, try to mix in whatever little I got. And I see it needs more water, so again, you want to just do it little by little. What I'll do is I'll pour some water on my hands that have some of the orange zest, so maybe it'll get into the mixture here. So I'm just mixing this all together in this bowl here to get a thickness to it, so I can make little cookies out of it. Then I'm going to move this over here. Then I want to add the date paste because so it still needs more water. So we're going to add a little more. Again, a little less is more because you don't want it to get too watery because then you'll have to start adding other dry ingredients. It does smell good. And it's making quite a bit. And I didn't use that much of the teff flour actually. So now I'm going to add a little bit of date paste to that to thicken it up even more. So let me get another spoon here. And to give it some sweetness. So maybe just a spoonful for now. and mix that in to the all the other ingredients. And then if you want, you could mix in the hemp seeds and the cacao to give it the crunch. If you're going to make a cookie out of it or a brownie, however you want to make it. So as you can see, it's pretty nice and thick, which is what I want. It's probably a little moist, so you can always put it in the freezer if you want. So if you want it to harden up, or if you want to have it like this, something soft, that's fine too. Or you can make little truffles out of them. So I'm probably going to add, I could probably add a little more of the flour, of the teff, just to get it a little thicker. I'm just going to pour a little more in here. Maybe another few spoonfuls. And then I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add the seeds that I mentioned. The hemp seed, I have hemp seeds, buckwheat cereal, and the cacao, just to kind of give it something a little different. So I just want it to be a little bit drier, because it's still going to be quite wet, but it's going to be thick. So what I made, I don't know if this will become a brownie, probably more become like a little, maybe a cookie, because it's quite a bit. So now I'm going to add the, so I have these cacao nibs, and this is from a company called Earth Circle Organics that I also reviewed on my YouTube channel. You can check out all those other videos. So I'm going to add some cacao nibs into there to give it a little crunch, so they can be like chocolate chip cookies, superfood cookies. And then this is a super simple sprouted granola from Go Raw. I've also reviewed some of their products on my channel. So I'm going to add that in as well for a little crunch. And then finally I have some hemp seeds, and those are also from Earth Circle Organics. So I'm going to add that to the mix. And then I'm finally going to be able to make. Now once I mix that all in together, I could actually form them into cookies or truffles, or like I said, anything you like as far as your own personal interest. So I think I'm just going to make it, use my hands of course. So again, they are quite soft. So let's say if you want to make a cookie, the cookie would look like this. You can make it a little flatter. That could be a cookie. Then I could make it into a truffle. So rounder, and then even into like a bar shape, you know, kind of flatter and square maybe. So kind of like that. And then if you want, you could always sprinkle something like a little bit of hemp on top, or just, you know, even a little bit of the coconut flour would be nice. You could sprinkle a little of that on top, just to give it a little nice effect. Just a little bit, not too much. Then I'll show you the results, and then I'm going to taste it. And then we're going to be all finished. So here are they, if you can see them in the video. So that's what they look like. So I'm going to try. So you see, here's one. This is the cookie shape. This is the truffle. And then this would be the bar. If you can see that. And then, like I said, you can always put it in the freezer. So I'm going to try a little. Very nice. Nice flavor. I like the added crunch. The added crunch is really nice. So just to go through, because I know this video has gotten kind of long, the products that I reviewed today are the Maskal Teff grain in the brown, and the Ivory Teff grain, and also the Ivory Teff flour, and the brown Teff flour. And I thank you for watching. It's the Rawsome Vegan Gal.